All right, let's go to Andrew in Little Rock, Arkansas. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Dr. John. Thanks for having me on.
You bet, man. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us for a little while. What's up, dude?
Hey, well, I am about a year out removed from a pretty tough divorce, and I feel like I've done most of the things right, but I'm still dealing with some issues. And then also, I feel like I've almost developed like an anxiety tick that I seemingly can't break, even though almost a year has passed, and I'm not sure what to do, or what to go from. And so I've poured myself into my friends and my work and my family outside of my divorce, and all of that has gone really well. But over the past year, even though there's no evidence to suggest that I'm dealing with this problem, I've become incredibly anxious about just being insecure and losing my hair, even though baldness doesn't even run in my family, and I'm I'm not balding, but I still worry about it almost all the time. And I don't know if that's just because of I've done almost everything else, quote unquote, right, recovering from the divorce, and my body is just trying to find something to worry about.
There you go, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you figured that out. That's awesome.
And so,
how long were y'all married?
We were married just under 2 years.
What happened?
Unfortunately, she had pretty much lived a double life our entire relationship, and she had been cheating on me pretty much the whole time. It's very common for people to say, like, oh, my ex was crazy. But when I was reading about it more later, I learned about narcissistic personality disorder, and it seemed like she really fit the bill for that.
So
she never apologized. There was never any closure. And she cut literally everyone off right away, and it was over in a weekend. And so,
were you? Did you have any idea, or were you all in?
I was all in. In the last few months of our marriage, I thought something was wrong, but we were also in the last year of college, and we're just both in our senior projects and just trying to survive. And so I kind of chalked everything up to that. Looking back, there were some things that it's like, oh yeah, now that makes sense. But there was no like moment where, friends come up and like, man, I wish I had told you, or like had seen other things. Like no one, even her own maid of honor, had no idea and isn't friends with her anymore and is still friends with me type deception.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Oh, man. There's a lot of avenues to take here. Before your marriage, you struggled with anxiety in the past?
Yeah, I've definitely been a worrier. And it's rotated seemingly kind of through things in life. But I guess now with the problem that I'm dealing with now is that it's like an everyday thing. Sure. Even like there was one caller on the show a few weeks ago that I had heard where you had made a joke about how like you weren't expecting to be married to a guy that didn't have this much hair or like as much hair on his head. And that like sent me into thinking about it at work when I hadn't. I was like, shoot. And it's just stuff like that, like offhanded comments that'll have nothing to do with it will now kick me. And it all started too from a joke that someone made about my hair. And literally ever since then, I've just been.
And so let me walk you through, because you're sounding like me. So that one little seemingly innocent comment, you get that warm feeling in your stomach. You know what I mean? Like you're cut, and then your heart starts beating a little bit faster, and now then you start getting amped up. Like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, and that seems to pour gasoline on it, and then your body's off to the races, man.
Yeah, like my heart rate will go up while I'm at work at a desk, and yeah.
Okay, so hear me say this clearly, and I know you know this. This has nothing to do with your hair. has nothing to do with your body, has nothing to do with any of these external things, okay? This is a body that's trying to get your attention in any way that it can. So when you were worried, marriage is a thing, and we'll get back to your marriage. Who taught you to worry?
I would say both of my parents kind of worry in their own ways.
Okay.
I think they did their best.
Don't defend them. They're grown-ups. They're tough. They're fine.
I think they never pushed it on me, but I could see their anxiety, and that's just how I learned to do it.
Okay, so parents don't often push things on their kids. Kids absorb tension in a household, and kids absorb that disconnection between mom and dad, right? And kids try to solve that. And the body knows we're not connected. And when mom and dad is off in their own world trying to solve their own issues, and yes, they're feeding and watering the kids, but that's part of it. Kids need to be anchored into mom and dad. And when they're not anchored in, they spin. Making perfect grades, getting straight hundreds can often be an anxiety response. It can be a way to try to quell that, to try to jump that gulf between mom and dad back, right? And rumination is another fun one. It may be that more than anxiety, it sounds very OCD is what you're struggling with. And I'm not going to diagnose you, so I'm not giving you a diagnostic. I'm saying this is the loop, right? The loop-de-loop. But instead of checking locks in your house, your brain is ticking off. Okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Oh, there it is. They're not going to love us. We're going to be stuck by ourselves, right? And then now I'm in full-fledged fight or flight, and I got to ride this sucker out, right? And it's an exhausting way to live. My guess is you have done a remarkable job of running down the checklist, but you have not fully grieved the two big things that happen when somebody cheats on you. You haven't fully grieved that somebody looked at you and decided, I want somebody else, which is devastating. And you haven't grieved the secret evil of divorce, which is you missed it. And now it was confirmed that Andrew is not trustworthy because I couldn't even tell with my wife. And your body's trying to get your attention that we're not okay. We're not safe. We're not in control. We're disconnected. And so you've hung out with people and you've gotten busy at work. Did you go back to the gym?
I did.
Yeah, cool. You went back to the gym. Have you started reading some books?
Yeah, I've read books, started doing jujitsu.
Oh, see, we're doing
with friends.
Awesome. Those things that you're doing are fantastic, but here's what they do. They provide an extraordinary, strong, anchored foundation for you to do the really hard crap.
Yeah.
And that's what you haven't done. And so your body feels busy and it feels full. And your brain's screaming at you, we're still not safe. Because those external things were never the problem.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I guess my only thing, or not my only thing, but my question to that would be, I feel like I felt, obviously, everyone goes through it differently, but I felt like I went through all of the quote unquote stages of grief throughout the year. And I guess I don't know how else to continue to grieve and deal with it, because I feel like the problem, like you were mentioning with ruminations, it's like, what's the difference between dealing with it and grieving versus ruminating and just sitting and dwelling on those thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. It's a great question. Ruminating is when your mind spins out and it feels like productive thinking. It feels like it's trying to help you. And it's not. It's an activity. And your brain gets addicted to that, by the way, because it spins up the stress chemicals. And your body gets addicted to the stress chemicals. And if you're doing all these other things like jujitsu and exercise and whatever, then you're not giving the body its hit that it needs. So basically your head is a crack dealer now, and it knows how to get its hit. If you're not going to get it in the real world, we're going to spin up some thoughts and get it that way. And then your body launches into a fight or flight that you're not even. Have you had the moment when you're like, there's nothing wrong here? There's nobody coming at me with a hatchet. There's no out of control barber going to take off the rest of my hair, but your body's acting as though somebody's chasing you with the clippers, right?
Yeah. I've had that moment where I told my family some of my worries, and like I showed them pictures from years ago where my hairline is exactly the same as it is now. Mm-hmm. And now they give me a hard time about worrying about it.
Right.
It's not they joke about it because it's not happening.
Right. And but this isn't about your hair.
Yeah.
This is about a mind trying to get its body's attention. And so, here's a couple of things that you didn't mention. Are you sleeping?
It's kind of gone through waves.
Okay.
Initially, it was not great, and then I really locked it down. More recently, I was super, super blessed. I actually closed on a house and have been in the process of moving, and that has definitely affected my sleep. But
how much money do you owe?
How much money do I owe?
Yeah. How in debt are you?
I'm debt-free outside of my house.
Okay, great. You feel good about this house?
Yeah. No, I think it's way more than enough space for me, and I think it'll be a good investment.
Okay.
For the future. That's the other thing too. Like I used to, when I was married, I was worried about money more often than not. But now that I've been single and have been doing things pretty well in that regard, like my body, I'm not worried about it. And so I feel like that's also partially why I've moved on to something else.
Okay. So here's a couple of things I want you to practice, okay? The first thing is when your body spins up, I want you to be curious about it. Don't give in to the panic. What I mean by that is when somebody mentions something about losing your hair and you spin up, ask yourself in that moment, what around me is not safe? What in my environment is not safe? Did I sleep last night? Am I not calling my friends? Did I skip a thing? Like, I want to figure out what my body's really responding to, because it's not this, because my hair is fine. I know that cognitively, something in my default wiring system is trying to protect me from something. What is it? And usually it's one of three things. I'm not connected. I don't have connection. I'm not connected. I'm not safe, or I'm not in control. I don't have autonomy. And it sounds like you're working towards all three of those things in a really remarkable way. Here's another truth that people don't like to hear. And people have jumped onto, Delony hates medication, whatever. I think we're way over medicated. And if you've worked with a faulty alarm system for a long time, there is a season when medication can really help reset that thing. Okay?
Yeah.
And it might be worth sitting down with a doctor and saying, here's all the things I'm doing, and my anxiety alarms are still ringing. The catch is, if you start taking meds, you have to go see a counselor too. Have you done that?
I have not, and
okay.
I should have. However, I guess I became a little bit jaded with it because I had been going to counseling before the divorce, trying to improve myself. And then kind of afterwards, when I realized it's not that, I wasn't a perfect spouse. No one is, but I never broke our vows.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Your divorce wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Here, hold on. You did not do anything wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
And you're trying to solve the algorithm, and there's not going to be a solution. The computer's going to run and run and run and run until smoke comes out of the machine. You got hurt.
Yeah.
And somebody screwed you over. Probably somebody that's not well. And quite honestly, it doesn't matter because it hurt.
Yeah.
And you deserved better than that, and you didn't get it. That's the exhale. That feeling you're feeling right this second, that's grief. That's yeah, dude, I didn't do anything. And getting great abs, becoming good at fighting, all those things are fun and good. Getting a lot of books, getting a new house, getting a new job, all those things are great. They have zero to do with the divorce.
Yeah.
The divorce is because something was not well with her, not you. And anxiety rings when we find ourselves in situations that we can't control it. And one of the most damning, scary things is we can't control other people. I can't make her stay. And then the alarms sound. Given all the work you've done, my brother, I think it's time you write her a letter. Don't send it. Let her know how you really feel. You may not have done that. Go see a doctor. And then you have to see a counselor too. Combine both of them. Okay? Here's the good news. You're doing hard work, and you love yourself, which is beautiful, and you understand that you're worth doing this work, and that's great. And let me tell you, on the other side of what you're feeling right now, there is wellness, there is healing, there is sleep, there is deep, deep laughter. I promise you that. But you're going to have to walk through the darkness. And so I want you to get some people that will walk through it with you.